Bones are amazing things. They hold us up. They support us. They make us strong. But bones have other uses. In the past, bones were thrown by diviners, seeking out the mysteries of the future. Now the bones are cubes, made of plastic or resin, but they still reveal things to us. As they fall from our fingers and rattle across the table, the story becomes clear. Welcome to Bone Throwers Theater, an RPG actual play podcast.
And welcome back to our special 400th episode bonanza. We are playing Grimworld. My name is Jordan. I'm playing Arlo, and Arlo's nickname is Squint.
This is Jeff playing Nathaniel, aka Nickel.
This is Jeremy playing Justice, I See Things in the Dark, Juice.
This is Johnny playing Franklin.
He doesn't even know his name anymore.
We have succeeded. We have won.
My name is Aaron, and I am playing Jamison.
And my name is Mike, and I will be the conductor of tonight's carnage.
Speaking of carnage, why don't we just jump right into it?
All right, so the B.B.E.G, which is as of yet unnamed, has a tempo of 4. So he will be going before you guys, unless someone decides to do something about that.
It's bursting.
Everyone else has a tempo of 3. Aaron, what do you decide to do?
How far out is the B.B.E.G?
So you can't perceive him yet.
Okay.
So Jeremy can perceive him.
I can still perceive him?
Yeah, he's there like you've seen him.
Oh, crap.
But you guys have an idea of where he is because of what Jeremy has described, and also you see like ice breaking, and you see the ice being flung, and there's definitely something id right there. But
Well, I'm probably still going to be shooting arrows at the things that are like the closest.
And we can
Makes sense.
physically see.
So first, I'm backing away is my first action, and then shooting.
So to do this correctly, before we start declaring, the B.B.E.G will have to go, right? So it's got tempo 4. And it is going to cast a spell. So he's going to cast Phantom Wound on Jeremy.
Shocking how that happens.
Power level 2. Has 2 dice. 5. So a 3, which is a regular effect. The target believes they have the effect of bleeding until you are healed or until the end of combat, whichever comes first is the duration. So you believe you have bleeding. You're not actually bleeding, but you will still take damage as though you were bleeding. It'll be phantom damage, but if you reach down, you'll basically become unconscious. Yeah. Okay. Thankfully it wasn't a major one because the target then believes they're on fire.
Yay!
Alright, and then that would end the turn. So now we're talking backs away and shoots a creeper.
Yes.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'm going to do also. I'm going to shoot from horseback.
I'm actually going to step forward to see clearer and not be at threat of shooting my other people.
I'm also declaring my
Shoot.
life of warfare.
For the extra hits?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I know I'm going to get hit at some point here.
Life of warfare.
That lasts till I get hit.
Shoot. I got it. Jeff, you step forward and shoot.
Yeah, and feature action, Champion of the People. Once per session, declare Champion of the People as 2 AP.
Yep, so that's going to take your turn if you want to declare that.
Okay. What is the AP?
Action points. So you get 2 action points per turn, so it's going to take your whole turn. You won't be able to move or shoot, but if you declare Champion of the People, you will allow each of your party to excel on their next roll.
Gotcha. Declared.
Doing his Corsair thing.
So you are exposing yourself
Yes, he is exposed.
in front of all of us.
Yes.
The shame.
Every Wednesday.
Wrong lizard.
Jordan.
I think I'm going to go ahead and assemble a grenade.
Nice. And that is a quick action, I believe, right?
I think so.
You can craft an improvised explosive.
Yep. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and fling that out as far as I can into the ice to just try and do as much damage as I can
Kind of
with
an
it.
AoE kind of
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's underwater, so it's extra concussive.
It's a depth charge.
If I can get it in the proper hole, yeah.
I'm
Pour
not that
underneath
exposed.
it, and it just like gets buffeted by the ice.
So it's echoed back and forth.
Right. But they're on top of the ice at this point. So,
Well, maybe they'll fall back into the water.
all right, everybody's declared. Aaron, you back away and shoot a creeper.
So am I excelling at this roll?
You would excel at this roll.
So it's 2 dice.
You're welcome.
Since I'm holding that roll, do I not get
It's
it?
still your next roll. So the next dice to fall from your hand.
Okay.
6.
Oh, nice. Throw a die in there.
So it's a 7 bow.
Yeah.
So it's +3.
Yep.
So 10.
That creeper takes trauma.
10. It's critical trauma, right?
Yep. Nope, you're right. Crit trauma. So there are, we'll say, 6 of these little creeper things that have come up out of the ice towards you.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I was envisioning a whole lot more.
No, but think of the limbs that each of them have. Like, I mean, they're not small.
I was picturing like 30 or 40.
Johnny.
Alright. Oh, look, a natural 6.
Nice.
So that gives me a 10.
They land right when it counts.
Sometimes.
And you declared life of warfare, which gives you an extra, or allows you to ignore your
Ignore
next
my next hit on
Nice.
onto my
Nice.
body.
So the next time someone hits on you, you can ignore it.
Yes. People went off. I do it all the time.
Jeremy, so you're still holding it.
I would assume that would be my declaration. I have to hold that until I use it.
Yeah, so if you're high watching a spell, then you're just sitting here charged. Get some. Okay. All right. Jordan.
All right, it is time to assemble my grenade. Is that just something that I do by...
You use like random bits and pieces and parts that you have on you or around you.
Yep.
Boom, smack, block them.
That'd be a roll of crafting.
That is scary.
It's a quick action. There's no.
So it just happens.
If you could just take 2 or 3 pieces off your person and make a grenade. Just be like, oh crap.
So we had to give the Tinker a little bit of teeth. They really don't come into their own until later in the game.
Right,
They can animate machinery.
So this is like the MacGyver effect.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Once combat scene, the Tinker can declare munitionist. The Tinker can then choose one of the following 2 things to happen. They can either do the exploding ammunition, or they can craft an improvised explosive from ingredients and components they have on or around them. This grenade has an accuracy of 4 dice, hits on 4, 5, or 6, 6 hits for 2, has a blast rating of 2, and a range of 10 yards.
So I'm just going to throw it as far as I can. A 5 and a 3. So I think that that's one big success.
Yep, that is correct.
There's no pluses in anything.
No, so there is a blast rating of 2. Unfortunately, there weren't any 6s there.
Yeah.
The water kind of muffles the explosive a little, and they each take a hit. But it causes them to pause and turn towards the explosive, just trying to figure out what's going on. But there are 3 of them in the front that are within range. That counts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they all pause and turn towards the explosive?
It basically bought us another turn. Yeah.
No, so if they're in range, can I let this thing go?
You can.
And it was a 6 so that means I can spill over to the next closest one as well.
Correct.
So I hit 2 of them.
Nice. So it does 1d exploding damage. 2. 2 damage to 1, and roll another for the second one.
A 3.
Alright, 2 and 3 damage. So they just start shrieking and curling up a little bit. Just really don't like what you're doing.
What does the avian figure do?
Its attention shifts from you to its bond, minions, prodigy, spawn, whatever.
It's like, shoot the crawlers, shoot the crawlers, shoot the crawlers!
Alright, back to the top of the round. B.B.E.G is starting to weave some kind of spell. Again, you can only when they can see him, but is moving quite fast. And you see energy shoot out from its hands and envelop each of the creepers. And then it fades.
Was I the only one that was able to see that? Or do they see...
So you guys can see like a little bit of a distortion around them for a moment, and then it fades. And it looks like the 2 that were damaged by the bolt of pain are much better.
Crap. It just did something.
It held them.
To include the one that was shot in the face, or...
No, only the 2 that were affected by Jeremy. So all of them had the shimmering around them, but only the 2 that were affected by Jeremy looked better.
Well, am I free to shoot things now?
Yes, sir.
I'm shooting 1.
Okay.
And since I believe I'm bleeding, I take a hit, right?
A phantom hit.
That's such a crazy mechanic right there. So we're declaring our actions?
Yes.
Well, shoot it again.
All right.
I have the Gatling
Forget
gun.
the Raven.
Thanks.
If Aaron noticed something,
Raven noticed something.
no,
Do you want to insight it or lure it, or what are you thinking?
yeah, I'll kind of... The fact that all of them turned and looked at this explosive thing and turned away from us, who had been shooting at them, it kind of felt like there was, in my mind, nothing started happening until we started lighting this fire, and so I'm kind of getting a feel, I'm intuiting whether it is related to the heat and light that we...
I was thinking about that earlier.
And I rolled a 1.
There's just going to be no experience left.
No, remember, we rolled a few natural 6s.
You did. There's a pretty decent
So-
pile in there right now.
Did you take away your stresses from
It's
those?
a 6.
A 6!
Oh no, I forgot to take away my stresses from those. So okay, so I would have been. So now I'm up to 2.
Rolling a natural 6.
Hills everybody.
Not on a check your odds. We'll get rid of stress from everybody, right? So,
So I rolled that 6. Is that going to take effect like when we resolve stuff, or would that take effect before I use my next action point?
So you can use that to determine your action.
Okay, yes, that is what I'm doing.
So it is evident to you that they are crawling towards the fire, and they are very fire, motion, sound, heat oriented. They're just seeking out things that are living.
Warmth. Okay, so then with my action, I'm going to look for something that is on fire that I could throw out towards them.
A body. That's the only thing that's burning.
So that's all we lit up?
Yes. The only vegetation was that blackened, twisted, gnarled tree back,
On the other
back
side of the
away
river.
on the other side of the river.
So one thing we could do is we could light an arrow on fire and fire it at
I was thinking about that like at the beginning of the
the
fight.
caravan itself. I think that might not be our worst idea.
So, what would happen if you shot something else with a flaming arrow?
Like an actual monster.
Yeah. See, the reason I didn't do that at first because they were in the water.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, now they're out of the water.
It's worth trying either or both.
Yep.
I have a bunch of rope. I'm gonna grab the rope and light it on fire and throw it at them, because that is what Jim would be thinking.
Okay, I like it.
I don't know what that roll would be, but it's a 6.
There's actually an athletics throwing things. Hey, natural 6, sir. Excellent. Score morale. Everyone reduce stress by 1.
Yep.
Johnny, you said you're shooting?
Yeah, I'm shooting.
So the rope will actually land out there so that it doesn't derail the rest of the turn. They swarm on this rope. Like, they just swarm on it. They're pecking and clawing at it, trying to grab it. It's fully on fire, and they are screaming, coming as they touch it because it's on fire, but then they're drawn right back to it. And it's starting to take a toll on them physically, and you can see the avian scream, like this silent scream, but you feel it inside of you. Almost like your soul is trying to separate from your body. Not a good feeling.
No. Juices would just give like this scream and just open fire with the Gatling gun.
So, I like it. Johnny's doing the shot.
Yep, 5. So that would be a 6 actually. So plus the 3 damage.
9.
9.
Cool. So are you hitting the one that you hit crit trauma on already?
Yeah.
All right, it expires. Good. Jeff, 4 dice though.
Oh, so is that Gatling gun would be 4 as well?
The Gatling gun would be 3 dice.
Dang, Jeff.
Whoa.
It was a 5, 2 6s, and a 1.
Shenanigans, sir. 5 hits. Nice. On the crit trauma one, I'm assuming?
Whichever one's in my
In line of sight?
line of sight.
All right, so we'll say it's the one that you damaged before.
Okay.
It is dead. Jordan.
So I already used my munitionist for this combat, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull out my gun and take a shot at some of the ones that have already been damaged. Is the one that he just shot, is that still standing?
No, it's down.
It's down. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going at one of the other ones?
Yeah, I'm going to go at one of the other ones. Unfortunately, I don't have any other kind of fire damage to do at this point, so it's just a standard rifle shot.
Okay. So it's going to be 2 dice.
2 dice thrown in my bowl, and they both don't score at all.
It's a miss.
Okay. Rolled 2 2s on my 2 dice.
Get an extra die because it's your first roll since you declared.
I think that was yours as well, right? So you actually roll an extra die and replace the lowest. So
Would Jeff get an extra die as well?
Hey.
yes, but he killed his target. So yeah, so you got it.
He killed it again.
So double death. It's D plus 12 damage. So 2 hits to it. Good deal. It's hurting Jeremy.
I am opening fire at the avian figure.
Oh, okay, cool.
Juice sees that as the biggest threat at the moment. So
So it's going to be 3 dice, and then you will roll 1 extra die and replace the lowest of your 3 dice. For accuracy, that's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to replace the 4 and keep the 5 and 6. And I get a 3.
So in that case, you would keep 4 because you keep the better.
Okay. All right. So I got 4, 5, and 6. So, but it's just a 5 or 6, right?
No, it's 4, 5, 6.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So you got a 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 damage.
So the Raven has the ability to see the weave arcane energy. Can the Raven see this avian thing?
So you can see like a rough outline of it.
Okay. Yeah, the Raven's gonna be running interference, kind of doing that whole trying to distract thing.
Okay,
This big
cool.
ol'
So give me an empathy roll. -1.
0.
Well, it would have been +1, so 2. So yeah.
Oh.
I went the wrong way for aggression. All right, so it's successfully distracting the bad guy.
So everybody else just sees Juice shooting into nothing.
But not only that, but like just screams. Nothing's happening. You guys are doing well, it seems, and he just screams in terror and just starts shooting at the sky. Like,
Yep.
he is gone bananas.
I am aware because I have an at-will telepathic link with my Raven, so I know there's something there.
And it's a neat dark sense versus arcane vision combination there between the Wrangler and the clergy. And with that particular bond, like, pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked it when it was.
Yeah, it definitely had good synergy. All right, so now there are 3 creepers left. They are still pecking at the robe, and the robe stays on fire and holds their attention.
And I take another hit. I take 2 hits.
You take 2 hits now, yes. Yeah, bleeding sucks. You could take an action to heal yourself or try to stop the bleeding before you did a shoot or cast action. Also, that roll will continue to get harder the longer you have been, quote-unquote, bleeding. Alright, B.B.E.G is going to try to do his little heal spell on the guys. Oh, and he does not succeed.
Yay.
Whiffs the spell. That
Yay.
does end his turn. Go back around to Aaron.
If I were to stuff a rag into the top of my jug of grain alcohol and light it on fire and throw it at these guys, is that all one action? All right, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
From the Book of St. Molotov.
Better thing would be to soak a bunch of rags and tie them to arrows.
That would have been a decent option.
Well, jug downfield. Hi, Johnny.
Alright, I'm shooting the next one over from the last one I killed.
Got it. Jeremy.
Keep shooting.
Okay. Jeff.
I'm going to do my quick action of Moment of Inspiration.
Keep in mind that's a free action.
Yeah. I'm going to target Juice.
I don't think you have to roll for it. Yeah, the quick action you don't have to roll for, right?
Correct. Once per combat scene, the Corsair can declare a Moment of Inspiration. This targets the Corsair or any one ally. And if the next roll the target rolls comes up a 4 or better, morale is scored. So it just means that if you have somebody that's developed high stress as the Corsair, you can inspire them to be less stressed and say, hey, do better. Whatever.
You got this, buddy.
Right.
Keep shooting at whatever you're shooting at.
So then 4, 5, or 6 will score morale, which means the whole party
When we
Reduces
lost
stress, right.
Okay, so
It's not worth cleaning right now because nobody has
No
any
way has
stress.
stress.
well, I'm just gonna shoot then.
That's fine. Raven.
Raven is still running interference. Real quick question. So the jug was 1 action point?
Yep.
So then I could also shoot.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the other thing I did. Yeah.
So, flaming jug or exploding flaming jug?
I mean, really, it's a clay jug, so it would.
Yeah, it'll shatter and yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So you throw the Molotov out there. That's an athletics roll. It's gonna be an easy roll.
It's a 6!
Nothing. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
All right. So out goes the Molotov, lands like right behind them, shatters, flame goes everywhere. Everyone is on fire out there and will take 1d of damage, 1 point of damage. But they are also on fire.
Nice.
Fire persists until it's put out, so it'll continue to do damage.
And then there's a roll to shoot.
Yes, a roll to shoot.
4.
What are you shooting though? Weapon-wise.
My bow.
You add that additional 3 to it,
Where they break. And then they...
so that's a 7.
Oh, okay.
Because the bow is +3, right?
Yes.
Right. That ends up with 7, which is going to be a trauma.
Nice.
And Jeff. John, sorry.
The other J.
4 J's here.
It makes it a 9.
9. So trauma.
Yeah,
To a different one that he's shooting, I assume.
sure. I mean, I shot this one, killed it. Next one over is one I was shooting.
Gotcha. Your shot.
Shooting the avian. I got a 5. I got 2 3s.
A 5. So it's going to be 1 hit. Jeff, you already shot?
Not yet.
Go for it.
6, a 5, and 2 4s.
Dang! This pistol is kicking butt.
Yeah, it is.
So, as a pistol, if 5 or better hits,
5 or better?
yeah.
3 hits.
So, the one that Johnny had hit expires. So, Jordan, that brings us to you.
All right. I will go ahead and take my shot.
Awesome. So, your 2 dice.
Yeah, 2 dice. They both just...
Whiff again.
I'm going to go ahead and pull from the pile.
Okay. Still nothing.
So that's a stress.
Not your day. The firelight is messing with
the
you.
one.
Yeah. So down to the creepers' turns. They are on fire and they turn on each other and start ripping each other apart. The avian starts to fade. So as less and less of the creepers are alive, the avian cannot even present itself.
So it's like almost a psychic projection of the creepers as a group.
Or there was enough collection of energy that it could manifest here. So they finish tearing themselves to pieces, shrieking, clawing at each other, flinging body parts, and then it is dead silent on the river. Little bits of fire still burning.
It's
out
not
on the
dead
ice.
silent. Juice was still screaming.
Still screaming,
Still shooting. And then he just drops, so it fades completely.
So you see the fire and the rope and the fiery body parts, and there is the wreckage of the caravan wagons frozen halfway through the ice. You can now see them with everything lit up. There's 3 or 4 of them out there that are just frozen. And you see bodies that are frozen in the ice, just contorted, some body parts missing. You now recognize that the creepers were amalgams of the caravan people. And the fire just slowly goes out.
But the avian had faded away completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at that, Juice would drop the Gatling gun and just be touching his like body, like, what the?
Exactly, yeah. Now, because you're out of combat.
Out of combat, so that
just...
Well, I know what my next action would be. Pull the wagon to shore.
So that
I have a
is
horse to pull it.
all of you just standing there, just
horses. Yeah.
to pull it.
gun smoke riffling up and ammo casing on the ground and body parts everywhere and just...
Juice takes out his braided hair again, holds it up, and starts whispering to it again, just staring off into space.
Nice.
Do we really want to spend the night here?
After the avian thing fades and the
Amalgams.
are gone, does it start warming up?
Slightly, yes.
I like it.
Clouds part, starry sky, a little bit of moonlight, and from your arcane sense, from your arcane vision, the valley is free of dark energy now.
I think we're okay to stay here.
But you found the caravan.
Yeah. So I guess
You could be the Magnificent Seven guys riding into town with the caravan, technically. I mean,
Yeah.
the
here,
supplies
keep
aren't
all the
ruined.
stuff.
So is that what you want to do as a party?
Sure.
Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
That's what I want to do.
Isn't it?
I think first is camping, and then we'll figure that out in the morning.
Yes.
Very good. Gentlemen, you have solved the mystery of the Shadevale caravan.
Nice.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a session there. And Mike, thank you so much for being our guest Grim Master on this
My pleasure.
special one-shot series.
400 episodes.
400 episodes, indeed. And we're going to be around for a lot more, I promise.
400 more.
Hopefully more Grimworld.
I really like this. Like the setting and the feel of the different characters and how the path and trade kind of influences how you play. And there's one thing I was telling you beforehand. Our group is very big into lore. And I love that there's so much written into, like, because we didn't even touch a ton of stuff that could be lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it already builds on itself. So between the Sons of Autumn and this idea that this dark entity was actually realistically laying a trap for travelers in the caravan along this river path, to where it was magically making it cold along this, so where they would light this fire so that way they could be then trapped further through. I mean, like, that's just an awesome, I don't know, little tidbit.
Yeah, that I forget if it was in the Weaver description or the Nomad description. There was one of the things that said they had survived all this stuff, and one of those things was the dark. Mm-hmm. So that was what I was trying to play. Is like Juice had several encounters with the dark, one way or the other, and has survived it. So that's why you said it's dark over there. It's like, and
But also there's maybe a part of him that he doesn't recognize yet that has been broken. Because every encounter with the dark saps at our sanity in some fashion, because it changes our perception of what is safe and what isn't, and what is a threat and what isn't, right? It's not a mechanical sanity. It's the world is really broken and weird, you know. So.
But I love this.
Yeah, the system is lots of fun. I love a lot of the different mechanics. And
Yes. I like how the familiars had a very easy way of seeing whether or not they were going to have success.
yeah,
It didn't feel like there was an extra player's turn, right? Which was essential.
yeah.
I think that you were on the right track with the notes that you were taking today, especially with figuring out how to handle combat a little bit more. So I think you're on a great path, and I think that you've done a lot, because you said that you started with a lot of information and you narrowed down to what you want the game to actually feel like. Right. And I really do think that the rules of the game support the narrative you're trying to tell, and that's an important thing for any game to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely have taken some notes as far as refinement goes. Simplification, right? Seeing what made sense on paper versus where our organic challenges were. How did we in the moment, or how did I in the moment, without you guys even knowing, solve problems during this whole thing? Yeah. So I'm really curious to listen to the replay of it and really zero in on where those improvements are. But I would say as a GM overall, I was pretty pleased.
Yeah. So I did want to share one last little thing.
Oh gosh, yeah. Your note, the note that was passed.
Yeah.
Because I can't not go into a gaming session without sowing some kind of chaos. Right. I dropped this note. I wrote down, the caravan lost its map.
So now Shadevale feels exposed. Like whoever picks that up, like that's gonna get back to not just a lenser. It's gonna get back to the lensers. Right? That there's a map that's been... Right.
I don't even think that it's a true piece of information, because my thought was that the caravan was taking advantage of the town somehow. And I was trying to, like, protect the town from the caravan.
No, but I mean, if it gets back to, like, there's this community of lensers that it gets back to, and it's really bad if a lenser loses control of their map. So, very dark, but we come back and try to bring all the supplies back, and the town is burned down.
Yep.
Or just gone. Or they torched it and
Yeah,
left.
that's what I mean. They torched it and left.
Or it's torch and there's just torch bodies.
Right, maybe
like all
maybe
around.
you now find the rest of the scavengers of the scavenger group that you killed, and now they wreaked havoc on the whole town, right? But also, what would that dictate for the region as they have to pick up and move havens, roads, travel patterns, trade routes?
Because it would extend beyond that if the map were detailed enough.
So what map? So they right away the Lensers are going to put together a special group of like rangers essentially, and they need to go figure out what map went missing.
Yeah.
Or I was going even darker than that. The Lensers have sort of like a hit squad. You lose your map, we come for you and we take you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I like that.
Oh, I like that, Jordan. Don't do it in our campaign.
Yeah. Jeff leaned over and was like, I could have just given you a piece of paper. And I'm like, I didn't want that traced back to us. So anyway, that was me trying to stir the pot a little bit, add some chaos into the game.
And if this were a campaign and we're going into another session after this, that would have been a great cliffhanger to say at the end.
Yeah.
For a continuation of this story.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm always open to continuing stories, so
That's good.
but there is some work to be done with it still. There's still some items that need to be developed. There's some items that need a little bit of clarity. Some things we did that didn't exist in the rules yet that felt right. Some things felt a little rocky, like high watch on a spell. Right?
Yeah.
There's not really any framework for that right now.
And that just came about because I didn't have it written down
But
what
those
the
are
range
the things
was.
that we experience in actual play. We can't necessarily
10 yards
anticipate.
is not a long distance.
Yeah, so it's really, as a level 1 cause some pain thing, it's really supposed to just be a nyeh,
Get away!
it's not fireball. It's one magic missile.
So I was going to ask about that too. We were rolling for shots. The pistol was rolling 4, but the Gatling gun was only rolling 3.
Because it's accuracy. The pistol is more accurate than the Gatling gun.
Yes.
But when the Gatling gun hits, it hits on a lower...
It has higher threat damage.
Okay.
The only one that really sucks is like, the bigger the gun, the more potential damage it rolls, but the less chances it rolls on that potential. So
I got you.
the math is a little complex. Narratively, it makes sense.
Yes.
As we've defined it. But how crappy does it feel for Jordan to spend? How many shots did you miss?
I think I missed all of the shots in the last
Like,
fight.
that might need examining. It might be that what we do is we keep the long arm at the same accuracy, but just increase the threat versus the combat arm. The ranges still treat things a little bit differently. So they're not, it's not like, oh, well, why wouldn't I just use a combat arm from now on, or a long arm?
Or it might have made sense to maybe adjust the target numbers from 4 to 6 to 3 to 6.
Could try that too. So there you've got 16% chance of not doing damage on each die.
Yeah.
That's not terrible. So those are the kind of things that I'll examine. The melee scale, I think, might go through a couple of different trial and error type things. I think one of the things I was thinking of is we need to understand numbers-wise. And again, I don't want it to feel like we're playing D&D. That's really a huge goal of this design project. But also it needs to not be hack and slash. Like, we even had one version of this where combat only lasted 3 rounds, and whoever had amassed either more horror or morale, that side would win.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I like the concept.
But it didn't give us enough time to explore the nuances of all the other combat minutia that was already in here.
Yeah.
3 rounds of combat just did not give us enough. And then it also incentivized combat being more often. So then we were just kind of speed running through the level.
And also, if you make the combat more often, then that shifts the focus away from,
Narrative.
the lore building that you're trying to do with the world.
And then also the damage. Versions you and I have played have felt very deadly. Like with the previous initiative structure. This didn't feel that way.
No.
So I need to figure out how to either ramp that up or cut hit points in half or something, but that needs a little more tweaking.
Yeah, even taking 4 hits of damage, I didn't feel like my life was ever in danger.
Yeah.
It's also a one-shot, so you tend to be a little
but-
less connected.
True.
I was thinking about that too. It's the nature of the stress doesn't really shine through as well in a one shot as it would in a main campaign.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I felt like that needs refinement because we weren't around enough to really experience excel or suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And so nobody really cares about the first 2 stages of damage. So maybe we just broaden that out, explode that out a little bit. Like you said, to be bigger categories.
Yeah.
And then mate those with bleeding, trauma, critical trauma. That way we understand, okay, we're in here, we're in here, we're in here, we're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that might be a way to blend that a little better and simplify it.
Well, I appreciate how much work you've put into this. It's been a lot of effort over the years, and you can tell that it's a labor of love. We thank you for all the work that you're doing, sharing it with us. And I really appreciate you coming out, spending a long evening with us, and taking us through the ropes for Grimworld.
No, I appreciate it, and I hope that everyone enjoyed their time with it and enjoyed their experience and walk in that little universe. Huge shout out to everybody so far that's been a part of the project and really helped it to be where it is today. Definitely not a one-person show.
And honestly, looking around this table, it's like thinking about how much goes into this show, too. We do a lot together.
Yep.
400 episodes and more to come.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, everybody who listens and supports us. We really couldn't do it without you guys. You're great. And until next time, may the bones fall in your favor.
You're getting support?
Thank you for listening to Bone Throwers Theater. We are releasing this podcast under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. That means you can share the podcast, but please do not modify it or try to gain financially from it. If you would like to visit our website, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater.com. If you would like to send us an email, you can do so at bonethrowerstheater@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is Bone Throwers Theater. You can also look us up on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, may the bones fall ever in your favor. This has been a Nerd Circle podcast production.